Hey you crazy card slingers, my name's Tal and it's time to go into the maze. Thanks for joining me guys and welcome back. This is episode 5. Already we're up to episode 5 and I'm a little bit excited to play Hearthstone this episode. We're ranked 19 and 2 stars and last episode we got ourselves a golden legendary. So I still haven't decided what to do, guys. I'm waiting for some feedback from you guys. And we're going to be working on getting closer to a complete Druid deck or a complete Warlock deck. We got a win last episode, so we want to keep that win streak going. Well, it's not a win streak, is it? We're on ranked 19, so... So I'm excited to get into some ranked play. We're 19 and 2 stars, and last episode we finished with a win. Great episode, golden legendary and a victory. We've got to match up against a mage, against Medivh, and we've got Web Spinner, Quick Shot, Iron Beak Owl and Houndmaster. We don't have a 3 to play. We're definitely going to keep Iron Beak Owl and Web Spinner. Get rid of Quick Shot and Houndmaster. See if we can find a bow perfect. We've got the Eaglehorn bow. And we got Dr. Boom. We always like Dr. Boom. And of course, as every good mage does, is open with the Mana Worm. We dislike the Mana Worm. That's fair to say. So we played our Web Spinner. And as every good mage does, he's taken out the Web Spinner with Fireball, but that's given us King's Alec, which is great for us. And that matches up perfectly against the Mana Worm with a 3-2. And hopefully we can win the draw. There it is, Savannah Highmane. We've got 6. To his 1, we get to keep the card. And that's handy to have. So we've got Savannah Highmane on 6. We've got Dr. Boom on 7, so we've got a pretty good curve, which is a fancy term for having numbers in order. So we got another King's Alec there. And round 3 here, we can play the bow in preparation for round 4, depending on what he plays. He's obviously got a secret there, and we need to be conscious of that. If it's Mirror Entity, then obviously he's going to get whatever we play. So, not so important in the early stages. But certainly when you're playing a mage, it's something you need to be considering in the later stages of the game. When you're getting ready to play a Dr. Boom or a Savannah Highmane, you certainly don't want to be giving your opposition one of those bad boys. So I know I can play the bow safely because he's not going to get the bow. And so, that's our move. And I've decided against going face. I'll save both durability for now. And he's played the Water Elemental. And this is notoriously difficult for us to play around with 6 health, but we've got a few options available to us. Obviously, we've got the King's Alec there, we've got Quick Shot, and of course we could use our bow as well.
I hunt alone.
And of course we're looking to beat him, and 2-2, we don't get the Knife Juggler in our hand. We've triggered the Mirror Entity, so he gets a King's Alec, but you only get a Battle Cry if you draw the card, and because he didn't draw the card, he only got a copy, he doesn't get the Battle Cry. But he has got the King's Alec, so he's got a 3-2. And of course I'm just having a look at next turn. Of course we've got 5. We could use our bow if we're unfrozen. And of course, play the bow with Iron Beak Owl if we need to use the silence. We can just use our steady shot. We've cancelled out the 2 King's Alex, and now he's got a Drake. We despise the Drakes. After a couple of big losses to Dragon Priests, we don't like them. But here we go, we're not going to play Unleash the Hounds because there's just no value in that. Of course, we're still frozen, we can't use the bow. We could coin into Savannah Highmane. Certainly a good option. The only downside of that play, of course, is I wouldn't have anything to play round 6. But with Unleash the Hounds there and another Eagle Horn bow, of course, getting Savannah Highmane on the board is always going to be problematic for any opponent. Unless you've got a Fireball with a spell buff. So now he's got to deal with 2 Hyenas. Oh, Flame Cannon. Taking full advantage of that spell buff. And he's had no trouble dealing with Savannah Highmane and the 2 Hyenas. So we're on round 6 here. We can obviously eliminate the Drake with the Eagle Horn bow. We've got Haunted Creeper. We've got another bow available. And of course, we've always got Steady Shot. At this stage of the game, we haven't been able to put any face pressure on the mage, and we're at round 6. But we've been relatively unscathed ourselves. But we're down to 22 now. We'll play the bow again. We really like using that life as a resource. Get good value out of those bows. We play Haunted Creeper. Of course, if he plays anything big, we've got Hunter's Mark in our hand, ready to go. And Haunted Creeper is going to stick to the board. Be it Haunted Creeper or the 2 little spiders that creep out of his dead belly. Sorry to all you arachnophobes out there who just vomited on their keyboard. So we're around 7, so we've got a couple of options here, guys. Of course, the obvious one is, play Dr. Boom. Play Dr. Boom, they say. Dr. Boom versus Dr. Boom, it's a fairly good matchup. Then it's RNG, random number generation, to see who gets the best value out of their little bomblets. Of course, we can use our Haunted Creeper to provide some extra targets for those bombs. And the Haunted Creeper is absolutely spectacular for dealing with Dr. Boom. Of course, when I say that, I mean those little bomblets, as opposed to the fact that Dr. Boom himself is a 7/7. But what an exchange. There's bombs going everywhere. This place is crazy. Alright, so we've used our Hunter's Mark. Let me get rid of Dr. Boom. So a little bit excited there, but certainly I've misplayed it. What I could have done, what I should have done.
Well played.
Well played, he says. He maybe is sarcastic, or maybe he doesn't know any better. But we probably should have played Unleash the Hounds.
Perhaps.
And used Hunter's Mark on his Dr. Boom, and then used the Haunted Creeper to take out his Dr. Boom. And use the Hounds, guys, to trigger the bombs. And that could have been a better outcome for us. But of course, by doing what we did, we've been able to get Dr. Boom on the board. Our Dr. Boom. And that means that we've got 7 damage on the board. So we're going to play Animal Companions. Well, we've got Huffer and we've got Loki. And I say Loki because of With that Viking show. Loki. So we've got the Huffer and the Buffer. And of course that means we've got some face damage. Steady shot brings him down to 11. And of course the question here is, do we play the bow or do we not? And there's no real urgent reason why we should. Of course, we do have 2 mad scientists, and we have 2 freezing. And we do have 2 freezing traps, which could actually give us some durability on the weapon. We know that we're lethal, and that's going to force him to have to deal with our minions. Unless he can pull out 13 damage with a fireball, 2 fireballs, a pyro. Okay, the fact that he's drawing is obviously fishing for cards, but it doesn't look like he's got the ability to put us away. So, unless he's got a big taunt there. So he is trying to deal with our minions now, so he's accepted that he's not going to be able to take us out. Bye-bye to our Dr. Boom. We've still got Huffer on the board. And he's polymorphed Huffer, who's just been buffed by Loki. Okay, so we've got 4 plus the bow's 7. And 2 for steady shot takes us to 9. We need 2 more damage. And if we play Unleash the Hounds with Loki's buff, or Leoke, I always call him Loki, so you guys are just going to have to live with that. We're going to get the buff from Loki, and that's going to give us lethal. So, thanks to the polymorph sheep,
well played.
We've got lethal, and we've got our 2nd win in a row, guys. So, it's another victory against the mage. And we've got sheep power. Victory! And with no pride, I say we are 19 and 3 stars. Oh yeah, bring on the free gold. It all adds up. And we now have 100 gold. But there's no time to open a deck, guys. We've been there. We need another win. 1 more win and we've got a win streak. And that's going to let us move forward. We'll be able to start climbing this ladder. Rung by rung. Fortunately, we've got a worthy opponent. I was sincerely hoping for an unworthy opponent. Somebody who doesn't quite click their mouse button properly. Okay, so Kill Command, Savannah Highman and Ram Wrangler. Not the best hand to start with. Let's start again. Okay, this is not good. Okay, so we've got Freezing Trap. We're just going to have to work around this.
Job done.
I've always felt that I match up well against Warlocks, and I think it's got something to do with the way that this Midrange Hunter does that burst damage, and he can go face nice and early if things turn out. And with Warlocks, it does tend to turn out that way because they do draw and do that damage to themselves early as well. So they use life as a resource, and so they generally sort of plow themselves down to about 20. Of course, they get really strong in the later game because they've got a lot of power in the cards that they have in their hand. But I try and get rid of them before they get the chance to benefit from all those cards, and it seems to work well. I seem to do well enough. Although, as I look up at the record on the top left, it says that I've got a 0% chance, a 0% win ratio over Warlocks. But of course, we've only just started using Hearthstone Deck Tracker. But he's played the Ancient Watcher, and we've played our Secret. And with the Secret on the board, of course, we've got the cover, so we can stay on curve, and we can play our Piloted Shredder. It's a good card to play. We're in no urgency to touch the Ancient Watcher. Of course, he's going to be looking for a card to turn that into a taunt or detonate it and do that damage to all players. I think they can do that too. Remember, guys, I'm a beginner at this. Only been playing for 3 weeks, so okay, he's been able to play a crazy 8/8 Mountain Giant for 4 mana. But there's the answer. Hunter's Mark is great. But of course, we're looking at a situation where he has an Ancient Watcher that can't attack, and an 8/8 minion that can't attack either, because if he attacks us, we're going to freeze trap and return him to the deck. So we don't need to worry about the Mountain Giant. We can go for face. And we can put that 4 down. And then we can look at... we could play Haunted Creeper and Steady Shot, and we would be mana inefficient. But we certainly don't want to play Ram Wrangler without a beast on the board. So we'll put that beast down for next round. Of course, we'll have Savannah Highmane there as well to ensure that a beast sticks to the board. And maybe look at playing Ram Wrangler in round 7 with a Steady Shot. And there goes our Mountain Giant. And here he is again. But of course, we've got Hunter's Mark, which is a great answer. So we can use Hunter's Mark here to eliminate the Mountain Giant. And as he's at 19 health, I'm happy to work around the Ancient Watcher. Maybe to my chagrin, but for now I'm happy to work around him. And of course, there's a couple of options here. I could just play the Ram Wrangler. The alternative is to play Savannah Highmane. But for Hunter's Mark the Mountain Giant and use the Haunted Creeper, we'll increase our board control. We'll play the Savannah Highmane only because I want to be mana efficient. And of course I can play Ram Wrangler and Steady Shot next round. And as we can see here, we're lethal next round unless he does something to deal with our minions. If he's got anything that he can do. And that's one of the advantages of the Warlock drawing. And he's looking for something. Oh, it's not going to help. And you've got a full hand.
That was a mistake. You will.
And I guess he's not got the cards that he needs to deal with the problem. So, recognizing it, he's given us a win streak. Guys, we've got our win streak. So we've gone from rank 19 to rank 18 and 2 stars. And while it's still far from impressive, we are at least in a position to start moving up the ranks. So thanks for joining me in this episode 5. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already done so, feel free to leave comments. There's always plenty to talk about when Tal's playing Hearthstone. So, until next episode, this is Tal out.